So, we've been here a couple weeks now.
Has it been 2 weeks already?
2 weeks tomorrow. Actually, no, it's 2 weeks officially tonight.
Yeah.
Because tonight we rolled in at about 9 o'clock, or sorry, not tonight. 2 weeks ago, tonight, we rolled in to the driveway at about, what, like 9 o'clock at
9 o'clock,
night?
yeah.
It was a late night.
It was a late night.
And our awesome realtor was here to meet us. He lives like, what, 2 hours away?
Yeah.
But he was here to meet us. So we told him, like, you could leave us the key. It's okay.
And he's like, nope, I don't want to miss this. Don't take this from me. I'm like, all right.
So,
We
yeah.
won't.
So, 2 weeks ago, I pulled up in the little cargo, or the big cargo
The
van.
cargo van.
My mom pulled up in my little red car. And Everett came up in the rear
With the moving van.
with the moving van.
Big old moving van.
Please don't hit my birch tree. Please don't hit my birch tree. Who was that? "26-foot moving van."
It's actually fun.
Yeah, you know, honestly, I think the hardest part for me was like the fact that we were in two separate vehicles because I like going on road trips with you.
Right.
So it was like keeping track of where you were was kind of.
Yeah.
So, what was the trip like for you?
It was interesting. First, it was a little intimidating because I'd never driven a 26-foot moving van before, so that was a challenge. Getting used to the fact that I'm not in a little tiny vehicle. I'm usually driving the car that your mom was driving, so it was different. But once I got used to it, and you just get on the straightaways, it was pretty easy.
We drive a Honda Fit.
Yeah. And honestly, it was kind of fun being that high up because I felt like I had better control of the road, I guess, because I could see.
So for me, the trip was stinky.
Yeah. I'm really sorry for that.
I'm not. My trip was way more interesting than yours was. I was
Yeah.
in the van with, we dubbed it the Precious Cargo Van. I had the dog, all of the cats, and the chickens. Originally, we were gonna put the dog with Everett, but we realized that with as big of a vehicle as that was, it would be more stressful if he had to worry about Monty too. And because the van we were driving had a cargo mesh thing in between the passenger car section and the cargo section, I didn't have to worry about Monty getting into mischief. The worst thing we had to deal with was him trying to climb up in my lap while I was driving, even though he was seat belted in, and trying to eat a bag of chocolate covered pretzels. That was a little stressful. Monty Dog, why are you on my seat? Are you going to drive the van? You can't drive the van. You are a dog. Dogs can't drive. Monty Dog, quit ignoring me. What was the worst part for you?
The silence. I couldn't get any good radio stations on the moving van. I don't know why, but for some reason the antenna on that thing was terrible, so I couldn't get any good radio stations. So normally, when on a road trip, you're with me, so I've got you to fill that silence, and I can talk. But I'd have to wait. We couldn't spend all of our time on the phone. We had to pay attention to the road and had to let our map programs tell us where to go. So it was.
And I was going back and forth between you and Mom, trying to like coordinate where everybody was.
Right.
I was kind of also the nexus of the whole move. I was like logistics.
Definitely.
For me, the worst part was losing Mom in Paducah.
Yeah.
We lost my mom in Paducah, Kentucky. We're not sure how that happened, but apparently the Paducah's very dark at night. I don't know if you've ever driven through Paducah. It's very dark at night, and there's these enormous bridges that go over the Ohio River, and they are 2 lanes,
and
one going that
narrow.
way and one going this way.
Mm-hmm.
They're very narrow. They're not lit at all.
At all.
People are speeding through them, and we're in vehicles that are unfamiliar, and we can't get a hold of Mom at all. And I'm
That
like,
was scary.
I am so terrified. Like, I'm having bad thoughts about
your mind goes to the
worst possible place.
Worst case scenario.
And my dad starts calling me and is like, I can't find your mom. And I'm like, oh no. Is she stranded somewhere? Did she go off the bridge? Just worse. Finally got a hold of her. She had taken a wrong turn because the 2 bridges and the GPS had confused her. She ended up in a completely different place. Then she ended up getting to Paducah just fine, but then she couldn't find the Airbnb we were staying at. And so she ended up, her GPS took her to a courthouse. And she was about to say, screw this, I'm gonna go find a hotel somewhere. And I'll meet you guys in the morning. Finally, we were able to find her and get her to the Airbnb. And I was just, I slept so well that night because I was so exhausted.
So I did not document every state we went through last night because by the time we got to Kentucky, it was pretty dark. I do not recommend driving through the Paducah, Kentucky area in the dark in a U-Haul van. If you can do that, you are a better person than I am because it was utterly terrifying. The part of the trip where we were going over the bridges over the Ohio River, it was, it's 2 lanes, there's no light, and it was kind of harrowing. We did about 14 hours yesterday. As far as driving actually goes, we only did about 12 hours, but we had to make a bunch of stops because we have a dog that has to go to the bathroom, and we need to feed and refuel ourselves and refuel our vehicles. So that is very important. That adds a substantial amount of time. But here we are driving. We have Kentucky behind us. We're in Indiana, and Monty's right next to me. We have dubbed this vehicle the Precious Cargo Van since it contains all of our animals. I don't know if you can hear the cats screaming in the background. Every time we hit bumps, they think it's time to they think it's the worst thing ever. So that's been exciting. I don't think the chickens are as stressed as I thought they were going to be because they've consistently laid eggs this whole trip. So that's been kind of crazy.
How do you feel now that we're here?
Awesome. I feel awesome. I love it here. There's no traffic.
Except for what's outside our window.
Yeah, but I mean,
it's not really traffic. It's
really,
just coming and going.
It's a busy-ish back lane road, so people are gonna go pretty fast down until they get to where until they're forced to slow down. But I love it out here. It's quiet at night. It's dark, and I like total darkness so I can sleep, and it's just a different pace of life. I love it.
What do you think is the best part?
Oh man, I have to choose. She's asking me, not you. I don't know. That's a tough decision to make. I mean, you of course, but
I'm universal. Though.
yeah.
I
love this house.
I love the house.
This house is awesome. It's got so much potential. We're gonna be able to do so much with this place.
I love our neighbors.
Yeah.
And the people that we've met.
The community is awesome.
In the last 2 weeks we've been here, our neighbors have been amazing.
Mm-hmm. We won the neighbor lottery again.
Yeah, we just keep winning the neighbor lottery.
We
Our
really
last
do.
neighbors were amazing. Our current neighbors are also amazing. The first day we were here, our neighbor lady brought us over jam and salsa, and then she told us about like some people she was going to contact. She gave us some phone numbers of people and things like that. She brought over more phone numbers of more people we asked her about. We needed somebody to help clean out the barn, like a scrapper. And she brought over a bowl of cherry tomatoes and a cucumber and a Post-it note with the numbers on it. And I'm like, you could have just brought over the Post-it note, but you brought cherry tomatoes and they're delicious.
They
And
really are.
she grew them in her own garden, or in her garden, and you know that's kind of cool that gardens are kind of ubiquitous where we are, which is really neat. And
The guy down the road.
oh, and then we met our neighbor down the road who is mowing our hayfield, and he's been amazing too. Like he's a lot of fun to talk to. He's really excited. It seems really excited. I'm going to mind map him here that there are people here that are going to farm the land. We talked about sheep. He doesn't raise sheep. He raises Herefords, but he does like grass-fed beef production. So I'm like, awesome. We have a source for some like locally grown, grass-fed, ethically raised beef, and he is so proud of those cows.
He really is. He loves those Herefords.
He's just like, I just keep going back to the Herefords. I've tried every single kind of cow, but I just go back to the Herefords. And I'm like, okay.
The electrician.
The electrician has been amazing. Our electrician and our plumber have been amazing.
Seriously.
The scrappers are really nice.
They're really nice.
The people at the hardware store are amazing. It's just the cute little diner we found. Like everyone's just they're
Really
either
cool.
they're just really
They're really
lovely.
cool.
Even
Yeah.
Monty's new stylist is awesome. They did a great job on
They
him.
come like a corgi.
He looks like more like a corgi now because they trimmed all this fur up, and he just looks adorably amazing. I can't say enough nice things about the people. It's just I love the community here. It's I feel like we made the right choice.
Definitely. We definitely made the right choice.
So what don't you like about being here?
I mean, I don't want to look at this with rose-colored glasses. That's definitely something that I have been thinking about. What don't I like about being here? There's some things that you take for granted when you live in the city. When you live in a big city, like recycling and trash service.
We do have trash service.
We do have trash service.
It's just not municipal.
Yeah.
But honestly, I feel like the trash people we have are better than our municipal people.
Yeah.
The recycling though has been, we're gonna have to go get our little bins, and they are literally little bins, and that's a big change because we recycle more than we throw away.
Yeah, it's gonna be a bit of a bummer, but
we'll deal.
Yeah, we'll deal. What don't I like? Honestly, I can't really.
The wall color.
Yeah, I mean, if I had to choose something I didn't like about being here, it's this that the house isn't where we want it to be. But I mean,
it's
we could do something about that.
We need to put our fingerprints on it. I think.
And I'm trying to be objective here and not thinking, oh, this is the best ever.
I miss having a Trader Joe's and a Penzies close by. I'm gonna be perfectly honest. Like having to drive an hour and a half to get to like my staple stores is a bit of a bummer. A little bit of a bummer. But we have Meijer. And
Meier's awesome.
A Target and a Menards. So that's like kind of making up for it. I mean, Menards is awesome. That's a new thing for us, and I grew up with Meijer. He only experienced it when we came up here in March. It's a great balance between like big town and little town, and I love all the little mom and pop places we've gone.
Yeah, me Even the casino is pretty cool too.
You know, we need to go to the casino. We're going to go to a concert at the casino. The casino has real concerts with real bands. It's awesome.
It is.
And the prices are reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
Come to Mount Pleasant. You can go see the Bare Naked Ladies for like $40.
Yeah.
We paid more than that because we got
Yeah,
the good
so we got
seats.
the good seats, but still.
So we just crossed the state line. Me and Monty Dog. Everett's in front of us. And I couldn't be more elated and almost, I am giddy. I'm very giddy. It was very exciting. I just called Everett and told him I'll see you at home, which is kind of cool because it's neat to be a homeowner again. I mean, it's only been a month, but it's a weird feeling when you go from having a home that you own to not having a home that you own, to be waiting for that last nail biting underwriting moment. And here we are. We're in the home stretch. Home puns.
I think for me, the big thing is trying to fit our lives into a house that, you know, it's been weird because our house before was so small.
Yeah.
This house is so big, and it's like
It really is. I mean, you know, you got down here, you got upstairs, and then
the
there's still
basement.
the basement. The basement's, you know, pretty big on its own too. So
You know, it's just trying to. For me, finding balance has been a little bit of a challenge because I'm trying. Everett is our primary breadwinner right now until I can figure out what the heck I want to do. You know, it's a question of, do I want to get on the sub lists? Do I want to find a full-time job? What do I want to do? We have some savings that we're gonna kind of float on for a little while because honestly, trying to get things going is proving to be a full-time job. But trying to find the balance between projects outside, like redoing the chicken coop and taking care of the meat birds and getting the garden started. We're trying to get the garden laid out and started, not started per se, but we have a few like fall vegetables and some garlic we'd like to get in the ground. So I'm gonna start building the garden beds next week.
just there's a lot to do.
And then there's the stuff inside as well.
Yeah.
So it's like trying to find balance between the inside, the outside, and then like our farm chores, and then my actual like daily responsibilities in the house. That is, for ADHD girl, learning how to like manage my own time or manage my time without like a strict structure, like you have to go to school now and then you get to come home now. That's proving it. That's going to be one of my most challenging things to deal with. I think I'm doing an okay job, and I like being able to go to the bathroom when I want to go to the bathroom, and eat when I want to eat, and drink when I want to drink. I love this whole being hydrated just because I know I can go pee if I need to thing. It's been amazing. So what are we looking forward to?
Lots of different things. I'm looking forward to winter because I want to know what it's like to live in snow. I've never lived in snow before. Lived in Texas all of my life, so it's gonna be different. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to all the plans we have for the farm. I'm looking forward to getting that barn cleaned out,
So what
rewired
are,
for electricity.
so we have plans, yes.
Yes, we have plans.
What are we doing over there? It's wild Cass and Serietti time. So next year, so next week, or the next coming weeks, we're getting meat birds, meat chickens. Actually, we have some meat chickens in the garage right now.
More on that later.
More on that later. We're getting more next week or this week. We are getting ducks coming up.
Ducks are in 2 weeks, right?
Yes. We're expanding our egg layer flock, which is exciting. We have a huge chicken coop, which we've done some refurbishments on.
And then we're about to build a fence around it.
We're gonna build a fence around it, although I'm not sure exactly when we're gonna do that, probably before winter. We're waiting lumber prices are starting to go down.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to let them go. Right now we're using the Premier One poultry netting that we used.
Sorry.
We're using the Premier. Funny story, Wallace Simpson, we didn't have it electrified for a little while. We were using it just as a containment fence. But Wallace discovered where it was dripping, she could jump over it if she landed on top of it and pushed off. So we had to turn it back on today. And she walked over to it and we hear "Baka!" and see her take off running away from the fence. She touched the fence.
Yeah.
And now she's mad at us.
Yeah.
So that is one thing that I will say. Since we got here, it's completely off topic. Our egg laying production has gone up,
Yeah.
and our chickens have stopped eating their eggs.
Because they're comfortable now, I guess, and they don't, they're not worried about
Wish they'd
that.
lay in them in the new
In
nesting
the new
box.
nesting boxes, that would be nice.
Yeah. We just put in new nesting boxes. We put in a new door. We did some shoring up where there's some rotted boards. All sorts of fun things like
Yeah.
that. But so we now have a 120 square foot chicken coop with 2 stories in places because it has platforms.
It's nice.
And we're using the Premier One fence around it. We're waiting. We kind of want to fence both the garden and the chicken coop at the same time, so we can just rent an auger, so we don't have to post hole dig everything. Because it's a lot of post
It's a lot of
holes.
post holes. But the ground, on the plus side, the ground here is much softer, so.
Yeah, so it's 10 of one, half a dozen of the other, or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway.
6 of 1, half dozen.
Yeah, that one, that phrase, I messed up.
It's okay.
We're hoping we want to get sheep next year.
That's going to be really cool.
That's our hope. That's our big all-in. Poultry I'm comfortable with. This is our first big mammalian potential livestock investment. We have about 8 acres of pasture, and it is marginal because it hasn't been mowed in so long.
Mm-hmm.
The gentleman who's mowing our hay right now used to lease it from the owner before the people we bought it from, and that was for an extended period of time, and then for the last 2 years he hasn't been mowing it. So it hasn't really had much done to it for its upkeep, so it really needs it needs something on it, it needs some ruminants on it, or it needs to be reseeded. Something needs to happen to make that pasture happy again. So our idea is to get some sheep out there, because sheep can live on suboptimal pasture versus cattle that needs certain things. So that's the goal. Sheep. We want to get some hair sheep. Probably some St. Croix or some Katahdin. I'm leaning towards the St. Croix though, because I love heritage breeds. I really do.
The people around here have too, so.
Yeah, there's a
Gives
farm.
you a good chance for networking.
There's a farm about an hour away from here that raises them, so I'm probably going to reach out to them and see if I could get some sheep from them next spring after lambing season happens. So I'm looking forward to sheep. I'm looking forward to trying to get my flower farm off the ground.
Mm-hmm.
That's my big market garden endeavor. We have this wonderful about an acre next to us. It's flat. It drains well. We had some massive rainstorms, and the next day, no pooling water. It's great. It's kind of inset into the ground, so I was kind of afraid there would be pooling. There's not. I kind of think that the way that the earth swells around it kind of acts as a windbreak for it. So I'm hoping that will prevent damage to crops and stuff like that. I don't know. I'm talking out of my butt. So we're hoping. I'm hoping to get that started next spring. Late winter. That's when things will kick off. possibly sooner because I'm probably going to try to put in some beds this fall. We'll see. There's a lot on our plate.
Mm-hmm.
That's the hard part is again finding that balance.
I'm looking forward to the vegetable garden too.
Yeah, I'm looking for that.
You got a lot of room for that.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
So
great.
I'm looking forward to sharing this with you. I hear the word journey thrown around a lot on YouTube, and I'm like, I feel like journey is overused. The ubiquitous journey on YouTube is just, but that's what this feels like.
Yeah.
So I can understand why people use that word.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you're coming with us on this endeavor, this journey, adventure. It's always an adventure.
Always.
But stay tuned. It's gonna be buckle up. It's gonna be a bumpy night.
So I'm driving down the road with a van load of chickens, which means I have somehow transformed into the Great Gonzo. Am I a man or am I a Muppet? I'm definitely not a man. Which really means that Monty and I are moving right along. We're truly birds of a feather. We're in this together, and we know where we're going. Opportunity knocks once, just reach out and grab it. Together we'll nab it. We'll hitchhike, bus, or yellow cab it. Moving right along, footloose and fancy free. Getting there is half the fun, come share it with me. Moving right along, you take it, you know best. Hey, I've never seen the sun come up in the west.